Committee, Congressman Adam Schiff. Congressman, thanks so much for joining us. Does it surprise you at all that this information Rudy Giuliani is peddling very well could be connected to some sort of Russian government disinformation campaign?
Well, we know that this whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin. That's been clear for well over a year now, that they've been pushing this false narrative about the vice president and his son. And, you know, the idea that the president, that the White House counsel and others were made aware that Giuliani was being used by Russian intelligence and using Russian intelligence in the sense of meeting with an agent of the Kremlin and pushing out this Kremlin false narrative. The idea that they were knowing and still on the floor of the Senate during the impeachment trial, pushing this Kremlin narrative is pretty breathtaking. But I guess at this point, we can't be shocked by anything this administration does, no matter how craven. But clearly, the origins of this whole smear are from the Kremlin, and the president is only too happy to have Kremlin help in trying to amplify it.
It's not like Rudy Giuliani is
Justice
peddling.
Department investigation on Hunter Biden, the president's son, has intensified over the last several months. The investigation has been going on since 2018, and this stems from Biden's business dealings, from Hunter Biden's business dealings in foreign countries like Ukraine, while his father was serving as vice president. Sources tell CNN that President Biden is not being investigated in relation to his son's dealings. Joining me now is CNN senior justice correspondent Evan Perez and CNN senior legal analyst Elie Honig. Evan, just lay out your reporting here, because this is very, very bad for the president's son.
It is, and it's an investigation, as you pointed out, going back to 2018. And right now, prosecutors in Delaware are focusing on a number of things, including whether Hunter Biden and some of his business associates violated laws, including tax and money laundering laws and foreign lobbying laws. A lot of this has to do with Hunter Biden's time working with this company called Burisma, an energy company in Ukraine. He was getting paid as much as $50,000 a month for that company during a time that Joe Biden, his father, was vice president, was in charge of handling Ukraine issues for the Obama administration. And that, of course, raised questions of a conflict. And so what we know is this investigation, you know, for a while, it has been going on, and it seemed to not a lot was going on until recently. A lot of activity has picked up. We know witnesses have gone in to talk to the grand jury in Delaware. We know of witnesses who are going in to talk to investigators in the next few weeks. So we know that there's a lot of activity now picking up. He's not been charged. He says that Hunter Biden says that he committed no wrongdoing, and that he says at the end of this, he believes he'll be cleared. But obviously, as you pointed out, this is a political mess for the sitting president to have his son being investigated by the Justice Department, his own Justice Department.
Yeah, he was making a lot of money doing something he definitely should not have been doing while his dad was vice president and overseeing that portfolio. Elie, how do you see this?
Well, Brianna, this is a very real, very substantial investigation of potentially serious federal crimes. We are seeing federal prosecutors in Delaware do exactly what you would expect to see federal prosecutors do in this situation. They're talking to witnesses, they're bringing people into the grand jury, they're issuing subpoenas, and I would expect, as Evan reported, they're now gaining steam, and they need to make a decision, I think, in the at least intermediate future. This case has been going on for 4 years, and there is a realistic chance this could result in federal charges. Of course, then we'd be in unprecedented political territory, not legal territory, but a situation of having potentially the Justice Department prosecuting and trying to imprison the son of the president.
Yeah, you mentioned politics. I mean, politics, Elie, have factored into so much of this, from the interest in this case by President Trump and his associates as well. That's actually something that I think may have backfired in a way initially in this.
Yeah, Brianna, two things can be true at the same time. Donald Trump can have committed all sorts of abuses of power and outrageous acts trying to push people to investigate Hunter Biden, but there also could independently be a legitimate investigation of Hunter Biden. And the history is really important here because Bill Barr, this is the one thing I will say Bill Barr did absolutely correctly. When he became Attorney General in 2019, this investigation was already going on, and Bill Barr did not leak it. He made sure DOJ did not leak it before the investigation. If he had done that, that really could have influenced things. And I have to say, Joe Biden deserves political credit here for keeping his hands off. Typically, when a new president comes in, especially of a new party, he gets rid of all 93 U.S. attorneys across the country. Here, Joe Biden left 2 U.S. attorneys in place. One is John Durham, and the other is this U.S. Attorney, David Weiss, in the District of Delaware, because he did not want to give any appearance of political interference in this case or the Durham case.
Yeah, it's a really important point. Ellie, thank you so much. Evan, thank you as well.
Have you noticed that as everything around you seems to decline, one thing still grows? It is the power of your rulers. None of their plans and directives have solved your problems or made your life better. The only result has been their increased control over you at the cost of your freedom. Do you know why? You gave them the power.